Let me now just take a moment to introduce you to Dr. John Krumboltz. Dr. Krumboltz is a professor of education and psychology at that other school across the bay, Stanford. He's also a fellow of the American Psychological Association and the American Association for the Advancement of Science. He's employed his PhD in a number of ways in educational psychology and counseling, and this has taken him all the way to the top in the field of career counseling and development. He is a renowned international leader in career development. His own career path has taken him from high school counselor, algebra teacher, research psychologist for the U.S. Air Force, and teaching educational psychology at Michigan State, all before moving to Stanford. Among his many accomplishments and awards, he is a 3-time recipient of the Outstanding Research Award from the American Personnel and Guidance Association, the Leona Tyler Award, which is a top honor in the field of counseling psychology, and the American Counseling Association Living Legend in Counseling. So we're in very distinguished company having John, and we're just really honored to have him here with us. His full bio is on page 5 in your conference pamphlet. And you may also be familiar with his thought-provoking books on career development and achievement. One is called Luck is No Accident, and the most recent one is Fail Fast, Fail Often. We have the pleasure of having him also staying with us after the session, where he'll be selling and signing some of his books, so you might want to take advantage of that too. So without further ado, let me bring on Dr. John Krumboltz.
Thank you for that very warm introduction. I appreciate that very much. And I'm glad you mentioned that Legend Award from the American Counseling Association, because you heard what kind of an award it was. It was a Living Legend Award. And it's the kind of award I wanted to have. It's the other kind I really am not in favor of. And the book that you mentioned is called Fail Fast, Fail Often. And you might say, well, why would I be advising people to fail? And of course, that's not the point. The point is that you have to be willing to try different things in order to be successful. See? But if you insist on being successful every time, you are going to be unsuccessful. Because in order to experiment and try things, you have to try something new. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but you have to try it to know. And therefore you have to fail in order to know, and therefore you have to fail in order to succeed. Does that make sense? I don't know, but that's what the book says. Now, let's see. Yes, it's true. I am working at Stanford University, and you know, and one of the things that I like, you know, when Stanford and the University of California, Berkeley, play football against each other, just before the game, about a week before the game, there's a gigantic poster put up on one of the buildings right across from my window of my office that says, "Beat Cal." Now, one of the mysteries of life is, well, what difference does it really make which team wins? Well, there's a difference of opinion about that, of course. But I get into arguments with I play a lot of tennis. So I get in arguments with my buddies who are 49er fans, see? And if the 49ers win, they are ecstatic about it. And if the 49ers lose, tears are running down their eyes. I say, well, what difference does it make which team wins? Because, if the 49ers win, then everybody is happy in San Francisco. But the people in Detroit, or wherever the other team comes from, they're miserable. But if Detroit wins, then the people in Detroit are happy and the people in San Francisco are miserable. So the total amount of human happiness is the same, regardless of which team wins. And their response to my argument is, Krumboltz, you just don't get it. And I guess that's true. I just don't get it, what difference it really makes. And one of the things I like about when Stanford and Cal play is after the game is over, the players on both sides, even though there's this big competitive talk all the time, the players on each side congratulate each other. They go up and say, nice game, he played well, great tackle, whatever they say. They congratulate the members of the other team as they are walking off the field. Yeah, isn't that a neat, sportsmanlike thing to do? Isn't that really nice? So maybe that's what football is all about. It's congratulations after the game is over. It's not what the score is. Well, anyway, that's not why I'm here. Staff making memorable contributions to UC Berkeley. Now, let's talk a little bit about this. You are the staff members, and I happen to know a little bit about education. I've been working in it for a couple years, and staff members are the people who do all the work at the university. Well, it's true that there are faculty on duty, but all they do is just stand up in front of a bunch of students and jabber for a while. So we could get along without them. And then there are the administrators, up in the high offices, and they're trying to make their reputation by, making right noises at the right time. But the people that are really running the whole school is the staff. And so, and yet the staff gets the least recognition and the least appreciation. But you deserve much more. Well, I have studied at 3 colleges in my career so far. Coe College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where I was born and raised and went to high school. And Coe College is a small liberal arts school, has a good reputation in Iowa. And I learned a lot of things, some of the things I shouldn't know, and some of the things I won't tell. And after that, I happened to go to Columbia University in New York City. And then I went for my doctoral work at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis. Well, what did I learn from all of this? Well, one of the things I learned is that there's a lot of thinking that goes on at each kind of location that's sort of central to that location. For example, at Columbia University in New York, I was studying to be a school counselor, which I did become for a couple of years afterwards. I was studying to be a school counselor, but I also wanted to get some teaching experience. And so I got into this training program in social studies education to become a teacher. But in order to be a teacher at Columbia University at that time, you had to take a speech test. And so the faculty gave this duty to a staff member at Columbia, and the staff member gave it to a doctoral student. And the doctoral student was the one who tested me, see? And so the way the testing works is that I am supposed to read a type page. You can't hear me. You have to hear me. But I am so happy that you stood up and said so. That is great. There. But why did you give me this thing to carry around, which is not attached to that thing? We'll use this thing. Hey, all right. Okay. Anyway, maybe that's the reason I failed that speech test. But that's not the reason they told me. They said, I got a letter 2 days after I'd taken this speech test, and they said I'd failed the test. And I said, I failed the test? And I went to the staff member who was in charge of this thing, and I said, how come I failed this speech test? I thought I knew how to talk. And the staff member said, well, let me check the files and see what they say. So he got out the files of this graduate student that had given me the test, and said, oh, it says that you speak with an accent. I said, I speak with an accent in New York City? No. Everybody in New York City has an accent. I do not have an accent. And he said, you've just passed your speech test. Now I'm supposed to click something here, and this is supposed to change. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. There it is. There it is. It did go. My inspiration for speaking with you today comes from Maya Angelou, who unfortunately passed away last month. But she said something that I would like to be our theme for this hour at least, and maybe longer. People forget what you said. People forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. And I thought, wow, that is so true. And I was thinking about the way people have made me feel over time. My reminder list here. I've never forgotten. All kinds of little tiny things, but some things made me feel so different. Now, I'm going to just give you one example. I hope it won't be too revealing. But when I was 14 years old, I was seated in an automobile with a 15-year-old girl and her mother. Well, the mother went into the house in order to get something or do something, and I just happened to say to this 15-year-old girl, she's very sophisticated and very beautiful, and very attractive and lovely, and nice. And I said to her, I'd like to kiss you. And she said to me, oh, no, I'm sorry, but I just couldn't do that. And I said, well, why not? And she said, because if I kissed you once, I would never be able to stop. Now, I've never forgotten that. This was the most, the happiest thing she could have said. I had no idea I had that much power. So that is she made me feel so good. I didn't get a single kiss. And yet I went away feeling like the king of the world. It was a fantastic thing to say. You see, and so what Maya has said here, you never forget how people made you feel. I was a 14-year-old kid when this happened. I've never forgotten it. Because it made me feel so wonderful to be rejected by this beautiful girl. Well, so where are we going with this argument? I want to talk about overcoming fears. See, now I didn't really overcome my fear of girls, but I was But I have had, I do think it's important that we learn to fail. But low-cost fails. See, I think it's important that when you try something new, that you don't try to do it all with the whole world. Maybe you just try to do it with one person, just to test it out and see if it works. So if it doesn't work, the failure is a small amount. But the reason that we try is what I've already said, that we learn from our failures, and as well as our successes. And the whole business, we are in the learning business here at our universities. And that's our job, is to facilitate learning and trying. And this group of people that I've already been to some of the sessions today, and there is a real spirit of wanting to improve and wanting to try things. And maybe they'll work, maybe they won't. And I like that attitude. So if you learn something new, you have not failed. If you learn something new, you have not failed. And that should help you overcome the fear of learning, because you're not failing. You are succeeding by failing. You are succeeding by trying something. It didn't work. That's good to know. And they say, well, Babe Ruth, he hit more home runs than any other baseball player in history. Yeah, he also struck out more often than any other baseball player in history. Thomas Edison discovered the filament in light bulbs, tungsten, and after trying 999 other things, it didn't work. And somebody said, you certainly wasted a lot of time on that. And he said, no, I didn't. I learned 999 things that didn't work. Yeah, so he had the right idea, but we have to have that idea too in the way we do our jobs. So I want to do you some encouraging on that along the way here. Now, I was a college freshman at one time, and pretty soon you're going to have a whole bunch of freshmen coming in here. Freshman students are scared to death when they come to college. You have to understand that. They won't tell you that. They'll try to pretend that they're not scared, but they are. Why? What are they thinking? No one will like me or talk to me if I come here. I won't be popular. I will never find a girlfriend, the boys will say, and the girls will say, I'll never find a boyfriend. Or you could, blah, 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 either way. You know how it goes. Or if I talk with the professors, they will find out how dumb I am. So I will avoid talking to professors. See, these are all kinds of feelings of fright and fear that the freshmen have. Well, it turns out that freshmen aren't the only ones that are scared. Sophomores are too, for some of the same reasons, and so are juniors and seniors, and so are graduate students. And so part of our job here on the staff is to help people overcome their fears so that they will be willing to try things and learn. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Our common goal is to help everyone learn to create more meaningful and satisfying lives for themselves. So this is what we're here for. This is what education is all about, I think. It's not just memorizing facts. I mean, I memorized one fact when I was at Coe College in my 4 years. Just one fact is the only one I remember. You want to know what it is? No, you don't want to know. Okay, I'll tell you. Nebraska is the only state in the union that has a unicameral legislature. Took me 4 years to learn that. But there it is. This is my self-concept. I identify myself as a quiet rebel. And this, I love this. A student of mine made this poster for me. I think, you see that bird up there, sitting quietly on top of the no birds sign? That's me. I'm a rebel. You learn what you do. This is often not recognized in higher education. Sometimes the faculty think that students learn what they hear, but you don't learn very much what you hear, but you do learn what you do. And so teachers kind of give their students should give their students something to do, not something to learn. And the doing of such nature is to demand thinking, and the learning naturally results. You see, you have to do something to find out whether it works. See, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but you learn something. And just sitting there listening, very little sinks in. John Dewey said that. Now, the occupation of information technology. See, now we have some information technologists here helping me get this all this equipment going, but you think this is sort of a new kind of work, maybe in the last few years, but no, it's been done. It started 400 years ago. It's only one of the skills of recent origin. And most of the skills still require listening to people's concerns, helping them to take up the appropriate actions, and assuring them that they can be successful. See, and so I'm going to try to show you an example of this, and I think you will be able to see it on these screens. Let's see if it works. This is a video that was made 400 years ago. And it's spoken in an ancient, now obsolete language. But the English subtitles will appear at the top of the screen if you can read them from wherever you are. Let's see if it works.
Jobber Ansgar? Ja, det er jeg, ja. Så bra, ok. Ja, hei du. Hei du. Ja. Ja, hva gjør du? Ja, det er den her. Ja, vil du sitte? Takk. Ja. Jaha. Ja, så jeg har ikke gjort noen ting hele formiddagen. Nei, jeg beklager at det tar tid, så skjønner jeg holder på å legge om til et helt system, og da skal alle ha hjelp på en gang. Ja, ja. Så det kommer ikke innlyden, eller? Nei, men ligger der. Ok, har du forsøkt å åpne den? Ja, åpne den, altså hvis det hadde vært så enkelt, så hadde jeg jo ikke tilkalt helpetest, skal det vel? Nei, det er ikke svart på det. Så bare gjør der. Sånn. Ja, er vi i gang. Ja, så langt kom jeg altså. Ok. Ja, men så stoppet opp, og så var jeg redd for at noe av teksten skulle forsvinne, så jeg turte å gå videre. Ja, ok. Ja, men du skjønner at inni her, så ligger det kanskje flere mindre sider med lagret tekst. Så for å komme videre, så tar du tak i et ark, på en måte her, og så liksom blar du over på neste sidesanta, fortsetter teksten der. Jeg blar, altså. Du blar. Men er det tilbake da? Ja, det er bare blar du tilbake på plass der. Og så er det tilbake til den teksten hadde seg. Ok, så slutter der, og så fortsetter den der. Ok, men når jeg skal avslutte programmet, hva gjør jeg da? Da bare slår du sammen pennene. Ja. På den måten der. Sånn. Da ligger alt lagret inni der. Jeg risikerer ikke å miste noe av teksten her. Nei, alt ligger lagret inni her. Det virker å sette fyr på en gang. Det er kanskje litt sannsynlig. Ja, ok. Nei, for det er noe med det at når du har holdt på med skriftruller, så tar det litt tid å konvertere til å bla i en bøk. Ja, det har jeg aldri gått over. Ja, men jeg vil før det går. Det bare går inn en gang til. Åpner. Sånn. Og så, hva du kaller det? Blar. Blar. Blar videre. Blar frem og tilbake. Og når jeg er ferdig, så bare lukker jeg den. Flott. Kjempefint. Ja, men lukker jeg. Ikke sant? Nå er det sånn igjen, nå får jeg ikke åpne den. Så det er ikke like ille, da. Åpne på den siden der. Sånn. Der nå. Ja vel.
Okay. So how do we empower people? Now, see, I don't think it is just talking at them. I think it is getting them to take some action, see? And this is what the way they taught the people to read books, and how they teach us to use all this electronic equipment. We've got to actually do it in order to learn how to do it. And this is one of the things that's not always done in the universities, including it's often not done enough at Stanford. It's too much of listening and not enough doing. So I want, let's talk a little bit more about how we can empower people. The 10 most powerful two-letter words. If it is to be, it is up to me. I kind of like that. 10 two-letter words. If it is to be, it is up to me. And that's a really important thing, too, because the only person who really can do anything about it is me. I mean, if you're saying it. Not if I'm saying it. A meaningful and satisfying life involves overcoming unreasonable fears. See, and so one of the things that I think we should be doing as staff members and faculty and administrators is to help people overcome their unreasonable fears. Now, here's a guy who wants to build a hammock. It's going to take a long time. It'll take a long time for him to get the other post up there where it'll hold the hammock. Make the lack of success a learning experience. Try again, fail better. Never stop trying. Albert Einstein said. Good advice, Al. Fear of applying for a job. Well, let's see, making a lasting impression. Well, I don't know whether I'm going to tell you all this. Eliminating the competition? No, I don't know. Encouraging any progress. Never discourage anyone making progress, no matter how slow. I like that one. Pluto. The urgency of doing. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do. Leonardo da Vinci said that. I think he said it in Italian, not English, but it's a very wise statement. Just do it. That's a Nike slogan. Just do it. Really good. I would buy Nike because of that. Make it happen, says the Royal Bank of Scotland. You have to make it happen. It doesn't just happen by itself. Try it. You might like it. Yeah, but you have to try it to find out. Here's an important event. Natalie Gilbert, age 13, was the winner of a contest in which first prize was singing the national anthem at the opening ceremony before a National Basketball Association playoff game between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Dallas Mavericks, attracting 20,000 spectators.
And now to honor America and salute the men and women serving our country with our national anthem, please welcome, as voted by you, the fans, our winner of the Toyota Get the Feeling of a Star promotion, Natalie Gilbert.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the starlight stars? Stars like last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rambling, and gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The rescuer, Natalie's rescuer, was Maurice Cheeks, coach of the team. Several days later, Natalie was interviewed on Good Morning America.
And when you watch that videotape, as you do, what do you think about it?
I remember the moment where I forgot the words.
That
And
uh-oh moment?
yeah, and I remember the feeling, and it all comes back to me, and how overwhelming it was, and what a tough time even just in those few seconds it was.
We got the word star in there a little early.
Yep.
We're talking about there's not a person here that hasn't happened to, or hasn't felt that, and 20,000 people swooping in to scoop you up and
Yeah.
say, you're great. And I think they meant it.
Well, and the coach was wonderful the way he came out. Now, you're a big fan of the Blazers, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when you looked over, because I saw you look over, you saw him coming?
Yeah, I was turning around, to look for my parents, because I was like, what am I gonna do? I mean, I'm stuck. I couldn't move. My feet were stuck, and I was turning to look at my dad, who's right behind me, and as I was turning, Coach Cheeks was walking over. I was interested in what he was doing. So,
and you didn't know that he was gonna do that and help you. And the wonderful thing is, every person in the crowd, you can hear them start to sing. Everybody was trying to pull you through it.
mm-hmm, they all supported me.
And you've been invited to sing again.
Mm-hmm.
Come back?
Yeah.
You gonna do it?
Yes.
And I heard you say that potentially it was the worst moment in your life.
Well, it started out that way, but after, everybody started singing with me, and Coach Cheeks, was helping me out. Everybody was helping me. It turned out to be one of the greatest moments of my life.
Okay, you see? Why was this an important event? Because it changed her life from being the worst moment of her life, when she was scared to death of having forgotten the words. She didn't know what to do. She was all alone at the front of the stage, and Coach Cheeks came up and stood beside her and put his arm around her, and she tried to put her microphone away, and he raised her arm. Did you see that? Raised so that the microphone was in front of her face, and she put her arm down again. He raised her arm. He didn't take over for her. He stood beside her and helped her. He sang along with her. But did you notice that the coach on the other team also sang along? The players, the basketball players, all sang along. And pretty soon, 20,000 people were singing along to help this little girl sing the national anthem. And I thought, wow, this is a terrific thing. This is going to change her life forever, as well as probably changing the life of many other people who saw it happen. And this is the kind of thing that I think you as staff members at UC Berkeley can do for these new students who are arriving scared to death. And don't think that students are the only ones who are scared to death. Faculty members are also scared to death. They are afraid, because I'm a faculty member, and I know I'm scared too. See, I'm afraid I'll make a fool of myself in front of the students, or the students will think what I'm saying is not very good. So I'm scared, and I need some assurance. And so I read the evaluations over, and if there are any bad ones, I throw them away. So it's important to get feedback, see? And so you have a great, since you are the people who probably see the students most often for the longest number of hours and interact with them oftener than most other people, you have a great chance to be influential in helping people feel better. And you will be remembered forever as helping them feel better. And that's your job. Do it.
Thank you very much, John. I think we can safely say you passed the speech today. As a manager for career programs here at UC Berkeley for staff, John has written books. He's the author of very influential theories of career development that really are infused into a lot of the programs that we have. And what's so great about his written words is that it really inspires people to take action. And so we're very grateful to have John here today. And we have a gift to thank you for your remarks today. And remember, he doesn't have, we will be auctioning one of his books, Fail Fast, Fail Often, and he has a few that, and he'll be sitting upstairs for those. There, I think you have 10 books, and if you're wanting to just visit and chat, he'll be here for the next hour or so.
Okay, let's give another round of applause to John.